10 Outs Fight Club, back at it again, and we are going to be breaking down a little bit of MMA here. I know we did quite a bit of catch-up there in that last episode, but let's get into the boxing today. I really, really want to break down boxing. There's some huge fights in July, but like I said, let's hit these quick MMA points. In the welterweight division, we've got Leon Edwards, who is likely to fight Colby Covington for the welterweight title. Rumor is that's coming in November at MSG as the co-main event for John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. So that should be a huge month.
Yep.
And it'll answer a lot of questions for us as far as what's going to happen next in the welterweight division. But we've been talking about a lot of great fighters, and Kamaru Usman, I feel like people have just kind of forgot that Kamaru Usman was the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And, those 2 losses to Leon, everyone just kind of moved on. But I have not, and I think Kamaru is still right there. I think he's extremely talented. Who do you think he'll fight next?
Man, like I said, I thought it was going to be, I was excited to maybe see him match up with Bilal, especially, the Shavkat matchup was very, intriguing, definitely too. But
I could see an interim belt between him and Bilal.
Yeah, maybe something like that might happen, yeah.
Or him and Shavkat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's it's hard to really matchmake right now. I mean, I know that he's very interested in fighting Wonderboy, just because, Usman's ready to fight. And Wonderboy fell out on that 291 card. So I think, maybe you could do something there. That's kind of a fight that I was calling for a while. When Usman was champ, I was like, I wonder how he would do against a striker like this. But after seeing Gilbert Burns and Bilal just take down, Wonderboy, it's like you kind of get a good idea of how that fight might go.
Tyron Woodley.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I would really like to see Usman fight Bilal. And like I said, maybe an interim title might be good to do.
I think that's the answer. I think you do that, or Shavkat wins his next fight, whoever that may be. Yeah. I know we're speculating Kevin Holland. Maybe it'll be Kamaru Usman. Maybe he'll save the day. Who knows? But yeah, I think Kamaru is still right there, eligible for the title.
Yeah, I think he's one fight away from getting another title shot, another crack. So, it's hard though when, you have the two people fighting for the title being Leon Edwards and Colby Covington, because we've seen that fight. We know how that fight might play out with Colby and Usman. We know how that fight plays out, and then
you're definitely getting Colby Usman 3 if Colby wins the belt.
Oh yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah,
there's no
Usman's
way
coming in and be like, "Daddy's home."
Yeah,
yeah.
So. Catch Usman. He was under the ring the whole time with his money in the bank.
Yeah,
he's in the crowd.
Yeah, I'm hoping they book something up soon for Usman, because I always love watching him fight. Incredible athlete, and it'll be interesting to see what he gets into next. So.
All right, and then because we're in August, and actually I know it's not on the docket, but I want to break it down. Let's talk about this weekend. We don't have to break down the whole card. Let's just talk about the main event.
Shout out to both one of my 2 favorite fighters, RDA, Vicente Luque.
Yeah.
Both these boys, they never take an easy fight.
You know what's crazy to me? And this is no disrespect, but it's crazy to me that RDA is in the blue corner and Luque is in the red corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I just thought RDA, being a veteran, would have been the A side in this, but
he's not ranked. Was Luque ranked? I don't think is he? He might be like low on the rankings of welterweight, but very exciting fight here. I think both guys looking to just redeem themselves. Vicente Luque coming off that loss to Jeff Neal. Later we find out that Luque suffered a brain hemorrhage. Just puts it back into perspective what these athletes do for, us as fans and what they provide, they put their bodies on the line for the sport. But yeah, Luque's all in, he's in shape. He's ready to, come back in against a tough opponent, veteran in RDA. I think RDA coming off that loss to, wasn't his? No. Because he's been at welterweight. He fought Brian Barberena.
Yeah.
Got the submission, I think, over Barberena. So he's kind of on another run, Dos Anjos kind of saying that he's not looking to get in the title picture again. He's kind of understood that his time has come on that. And he just wants fun fights, wants good fights, and wants some good paydays. So I think this is a great fight for the UFC to put on. Luque needs kind of a rebound. I think RDA is in that right spot for him to maybe make a rebound. But also, RDA is a tough veteran, man, and he never shies away from
puts
tough
on
fights.
entertaining fights.
Oh yeah.
RDA is he's a gamer, man. He is going to make it entertaining. He's going to do whatever. He's going to take the fight wherever it goes. He'll go to the ground. He'll stay on the feet. It doesn't matter who you are. And it's tough because RDA is one of those guys where I feel like styles makes fights for him. There's a lot of people that he's beat that I didn't think he would beat, and there's a lot of people that beat him, and I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Right, yeah. I'm excited for this weekend. Shout out to Khalil Roundtree making a return against Chris Dawkins. It's another fight to watch out for. It's good one. Cub Swanson.
Hakeem Dawood.
Yeah, this is a good little card right here. I know, I think it's at Apex, so too bad that you don't have a little crowd for this card because I think you got some good fighters on here. But yeah, definitely keep a watch for next weekend. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, what do we got next, man?
And then before we move on to boxing, let's talk about my main man, Max Holloway.
Yep.
Going up against the Korean Zombie.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are looking at this fight the same way that you were just, I was going to say, when you were talking about Kamaru Usman versus Wonderboy Thompson, I feel like right now that fight's kind of like Max Holloway versus Korean Zombie. Like, it feels like you're just feeding the old to the young.
Right, yeah.
Even though Max Holloway and Kamaru Usman are deeply vetted in the UFC.
Yeah.
Korean Zombie and Wonderboy.
Same thing with these guys. Same thing with Max and Korean.
Right. Exactly. That's the relation I'm making. It kind of feels like Korean Zombie's on his way out, and they're just feeding him to Max.
Yeah, I think this is good matchmaking though. Still, I think this is the match you need to make.
Oh no, I think that if Korean Zombie's still going to fight, if he's still going to stay in the UFC, this is the fight you do.
Yeah. And both guys have been in the UFC for such a long time. It's actually interesting that these guys haven't ran into each other earlier in their careers. It's just they've kind of gone separate directions and stuff.
Zombie lost that fight to Aldo, and then he had to do his mandatory 2 years in the military, and then he came back. And they didn't want to just feed him to Max Holloway, who was on the rise. They wanted to build Zombie as well, and then different paths.
Yeah, great fight. I think that where's this going down at? Is it Singapore, I believe?
This is a 5 a.m. card, which goddamn
waking
UFC.
up early.
What are you doing to my boy? Why you got to do this?
We're waking up early on this one right here.
Yeah.
Couple good fights on this one too. You got Aaron Blanchfield returning against recent title contender Talia Santos. You have
it's a great fight in the women's flyweight division.
Yeah, Rinya Nakamura. If you haven't watched your road to the UFC, definitely go back and watch some of his fights. Exciting fighter, knockout artist, I think. And then we got Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. Oh yeah, that's right.
This is a rematch.
That's right, dude. That's crazy because Anthony Smith kind of beat him up. So that's interesting that they're
rear naked choke.
It's interesting that they're doing that fight, but Max Holloway and Korean Zombie topping off that card. It's going to be a good one, guys. I'm excited for it. Waking up early.
Give me your prediction
right there. It's got to be Max Holloway, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think Max is due to finish somebody, and I think this is it.
And it's not because James is wearing the Max Holloway T-shirt right now. I think the style, is gonna be making this fight, and I just think Max is gonna have a nice cruise right here. Remind everyone, what he's capable of, and we'll be on to the next one. But shout out to Korean Zombie. He's always a G. Always respect for him, and I appreciate what he's done.
Yeah, I will. If Zombie does get this win, the Korean in me will be happy.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a win-win situation here for James.
But Max Holloway's going to win the fight.
So we're definitely excited to watch that one for sure too. We kind of went over Aljamain and O'Malley a little bit in the last episode, but let's just kind of give some final predictions here. Who do you think is going to win over this matchup between Aljamain and O'Malley? We sticking with Aljamain?
Aljamain's the best bantamweight in the world right now.
There we go, guys. We're sticking with Aljamain. You guys got to put some respect on our man's name.
Aljamain's if he's not number one, he's definitely like number two for physique as well. That dude is shredded at bantamweight.
Oh, he's such a big one. I just watched a video today of the craziest collab you could ever imagine. Yeah, binging with Babish, Action Bronson, and Aljamain Sterling all in the same room making some food. And
no way.
Yeah. Yeah. And Aljamain's at full
Who put it? Babish?
On Action Bronson's YouTube channel. Fuck that's delicious. Go watch it.
Yeah. Shout out.
And it's Aljamain looks big, dude. It's crazy how much weight he cuts.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, he's in shredded, ready for the fight. So it's going to be exciting. We're sticking with Aljamain on that one.
Yeah, I got Aljo winning the fight. Now, that's no diss to O'Malley. O'Malley's a great fighter. For me, that fight with Jan was so close where I felt like Aljo had a lot more control. And at this point now, Aljo's a more active fighter, right? In between that, Aljo has fought TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo, where O'Malley has been resting on that Jan win for quite some time. And that's not a diss at O'Malley. I think O'Malley is a fantastic fighter. I definitely think he's got the better striking, where O'Malley likes to come in. Where Sterling likes to come in with those looping shots. O'Malley can catch him because he's got better straight punches. But I think if, the Funk Master gets him on the ground, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's going to be quick.
Yeah. Then we also have the return of one of our favorite female fighters of all time, Zhang Weili.
Zhang Weili.
She's defending the title against Amanda Lemos, and I'm a big fan of Amanda Lemos too. I mean, she's one of those fighters that she kind of reminds me a little bit of Jessica Andrade, where she just like comes in with heavy hands, and she's.
And what happened? What happened?
Yeah, and then Andrade triangle chokes her standing up, like one of the first ones in the UFC. But
no, what happened to Andrade?
Weili? Oh yeah, and then Weili just steamrolls Andrade. So I think this is a matchup siding with Weili on this.
That's what Zhang Weili wants you to do. She wants you to come at her and try to steamroll her. She's like, please.
Yeah,
I'm begging you.
Yeah, no, Amanda Lemos, she's coming into this. I mean, she has heavy hands, but I'm going to have to keep it with Weili on this one.
I got Weili winning this fight and retaining. And I think after that, they, I don't know. I guess you got to do Nami Yunus 3 because she's down 0-2 to the woman.
I guess,
But, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot going on there. I think maybe you let her go up to flyweight and let something there happen. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But speaking of heavy hands, as you mentioned a minute ago, let's go back in time to July. I know we're late on this. I know there's quite a bit to update everybody on and for us to give our opinions on. Let's first start with the fight that happened earlier in July. Let's talk about Fulton versus Inoue in Japan. For all the chips, what happened?
Man, what a performance from Inoue, just displaying what a beast he is, man. I don't think I've ever seen this like heavy of hands on someone in this like in a weight class.
We haven't seen a little guy like this with hands like that and just the fight in him since Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw something earlier saying that Manny Pacquiao wants to train Inoue as he moves up to try to claim more titles and accolades. Cool. That would be amazing. I'd love to see that. The monster is absolutely killing it, and I've been talking about him to. I've been bending your ear for a couple years now, telling you about the monster.
I'm on him, dude. Yeah. If you don't know about Inoue, you gotta look him up. Look up the monster.
Naoya Inoue.
He's such a beast, guys. I mean, the knockout power that this guy has at this light of weight is insane. The wins that he's had, over Donaire,
twice.
This win over Fulton, and just the accomplishments this kid's received is insane. I'm super excited to see his next fight. Big fight news.
I know Floyd said he wants it to be Tank.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting fight. I mean, yeah, he's such an amazing fighter, and he's always a great time to watch. So,
all right, let's talk about the welterweight title again for all the marbles to unite the belts. We had Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm waiting for Terrence Crawford to drop that he's gonna be going over to MMA because I mean he has the wrestling background, and then we just saw that he can put people out, and we've been seeing that throughout his whole career. But I mean, if you don't know who Terrence Crawford is, you're living under the heaviest of rocks,
dude.
Because I mean, this guy is insane. I mean, his skill in boxing is sight to behold for sure.
So I was doing my promoter practice at work and at the gym and just telling everybody about this fight, and it. Bud versus the Truth. I was saying this is going to be the fight for the ages. I was like, this is going to be Mayweather-Pacquiao when it should have happened. I'm like, This is going to be Hagler versus Hearns in the modern day. Mm-hmm. And holy shit, was I wrong. And that's not due to any, I don't know. Maybe Spence just was having an off night because his timing just wasn't there. I mean,
Yeah.
he was landing some shots on Crawford, but Crawford was in control of the fight. Felt like the entire time.
He looked levels ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in a fight where Spence has never been dropped in his entire career undefeated, amazing champion.
Yeah.
How many times did Crawford drop him? 4? Was it 3 or 4?
Can't even. Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was 3.
Yeah.
I think it was 3, and then he wobbled him the fuck up in round 10, unfortunately, and that was the end. I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Terrence Crawford's absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if he's quite there on the MMA yet. I think it would have to be the right fight. I think it have to be something legendary. Yeah. If like Conor McGregor was in the right position, I don't know. Maybe if like Volkanovski, if Volkanovski gets like double champ status, you could definitely do like Volk versus fucking Crawford.
And the only reason I bring it up too is just because he has that collegiate wrestling background too, and stuff like that. But I mean, the boxing this guy,
dude, and the entire time in that Spence fight, cool as a cucumber.
Oh yeah,
ice in his veins.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Terrence Crawford walking out with Eminem. Man,
with
it was
net.
a night. Yeah,
yeah, it was fish net.
It was a great night there for Terrence Crawford. So happy for the guy. I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan. It's kind of how it crumbles. For Errol, but. Yeah, what do you make? Who do you match up next for Terrence Crawford, or do you just kind of let the dust settle?
You could do Charlo, but I think you do the Spence rematch. I think you give Spence's earned that. I think you do the Spence rematch.
Yeah, just and once again, we kind of said it in the past too. Respect to both these guys for putting that record on the line, because it's very rare that you see something like this happen in boxing. There's a lot of
they're starting to catch up, and I think a huge part of it, to your point, is MMA is so popular nowadays, and it's taken over so many fans. Boxing really had to start doing things. That's why you got the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis finally. That's why you got 3 Wilder versus Fury fights. Lomachenko versus Haney. They're doing their due to try to maybe hopefully someday we'll get Alvarez versus Benavidez, but I don't know, who am I? That's why they finally did Crawford versus Spence.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, I think Crawford versus Spence, too, is the fight to do. I know a lot of people don't like that for Errol Spence, but, let's give Errol Spence the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he had a bad night, and let's do it again.
Yeah, I think it would just even draw more eyes, too.
And I'm saying I think Bud wins the rematch, but let's do it again.
Yeah. So, and then we have another fight that went down recently. Got Jake.
Staying in boxing.
Yeah, staying in boxing. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz.
Dude, so many people. They're like, hey, well, are you going to watch that fight? I'm like, no, I'm going to be watching Sandhagen versus Font. And I did. I watched Sandhagen hold Font down for 5 rounds instead of watching that boxing fight, and I'm sorry, because I like both guys. I think Jake Paul's an incredible boxer, and I love Nate Diaz. I got to see Diaz versus Ferguson in Las Vegas. That was a great time.
Yeah. Did you kind of think this fight was going to go the way that it did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought Jake was going to have more success than he did. I didn't give Nate enough credit. To be honest with you.
I mean, Nate's chin.
I loved the guillotine lock. Yeah, and I really hope they do the MMA fight.
Yeah. If they go,
I'm telling you right now, I will definitely give you my pay-per-view dollars if you guys do the MMA fight.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, Nate once again proving that he has that unbreakable chin. He ate a nasty shot from Jake, and still didn't go. He had the knockdown, but still didn't go out, still was in the fight and everything, and came back in the later rounds and stuff. I'm surprised that they scheduled this fight for 10, because I know that Jake asked, like, hey, let's just do it for 12, or no, Nate said, like, let's do it for 12, and then Jake was like, yeah, let's do it, and then they kind of cut back to 10.
You could see how tired Jake was getting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, like,
he was throwing heavy hands.
If you're in Diaz's camp, like, make that shit, like, 30 rounds, baby. Like, just make it, or you're that, or until, like, someone someone just calls it quits. But Nate Diaz, tough as nails, and Jake Paul, what a performance, great performance from him. He's definitely more than what people give him credit for and all that stuff, and I'm excited to see.
He's lost one fight to Tommy Fury.
Yeah. Do you do the rematch with Tommy Fury now?
No. I think
keep on moving on.
I think you keep doing what he's doing. You fight these MMA fighters that want to fight him, because it's good for both people, right? Mm-hmm. Nate Diaz got paid. Jake Paul got paid. And if Jake Paul keeps beating these guys, they're not scrubs. It's not like they don't know how to throw hands and slip punches and block punches. They're doing those things in MMA training. Yeah. They're doing those things in their Muay Thai and their kickboxing. And you know what I mean? I'm sure they have boxing coaches. Let's talk about Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje all have great boxing coaches. You know, Charles Oliveira has a great boxing coach. You know, I digress. Yeah. But so, yeah, I think if you can still get these MMA guys that want to fight Jake Paul and everybody can get paid, you know, why not?
Yeah. The one I saw a post that kind of really made me sad. I hope to God it doesn't happen. Is they're like, oh, Tony Ferguson is going to be the next opponent for Jake, and I'm like, please don't. I think Tony still has his place in the UFC right now. So I think we're kind of safe from that right now. If you're a Tony fan.
Okay, let me ask you about this one. How do you feel about Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett?
Oh my goodness.
It's a very winnable fight for Tony, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in a state right now where I'm just so depressed about it. You know, we all kind of want to see him hang it up. We know Tony isn't going to do that.
Yeah, I know nobody wants to hear this, but I got to say it.
Yeah.
The eye poke made a difference.
Yeah.
Tony had dropped him before the eye poke.
Yeah. How can one fighter come across so many unfortunate events? I mean,
okay, well, Charles wasn't. I mean, Charles was just better.
Right. Yeah.
And he was just better. You know, it's just. I hate to go back to the Gaethje fight and say that's where everything changed.
No, it's definitely As a Tony Ferguson, I could say that's where it changed for sure. You had someone that was literally in the top contention, and we're like saying like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the guy that's gonna take the crown from Khabib, take the belt off Khabib, and then it was just done. Right. Changes his whole trajectory, and now we're if you're a Tony fan, you're sitting here just saying like, what is life?
Dude, like I said, scared Justin Gaethje is a mythical fighter.
Yeah.
It's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's a different thing.
Keep Jake Paul away from Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. That's all we're saying.
Do that.
That's all
Let's just do that, guys. So, but tons of news being dropped recently. We're going to keep, frequent with it. Make sure we're current on all of our events and stuff like that. But we appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? Or
no, that's we can close it out. We can close it out on that, and we'll be back to you guys with more fight news, combat sports. We're out.